Hey, what's going on, guys? John Shea here, and in this video what I'm going to be doing is actually walking you through a comparison of Clickfunnels versus Thrivethemes. So both of these are probably what I would consider some of the best template-based really lead generation tools and sales page tools, funnel builder tools that you could see in the market today. There are some other big name competitors out there, but these two, in my opinion, are some of the biggest contenders. There are a couple others that really do stack up against them, but what I wanted to do in this video is kind of break down some of the comparisons. Then I'm going to walk you through each tool, kind of show you some of the differences and give you some of my own opinions on where I feel there are both advantages and disadvantages to each platform. So the Thrivethemes folks actually put together a really good comparison article that's also both very honest, despite some things that Thrivethemes doesn't have. They kind of note out what the positives and the negatives are between these. So I'm going to leave a link to this for you guys to check out beneath the video, and you can go check this out for yourself. But let's kind of go through this. I'm not going to go through all the different things that are here, but one of the biggest things I kind of wanted to note right off the bat, which really differentiates these two systems, is the price. So if you go with Thrivethemes, you're going to be utilizing WordPress. So you will need a WordPress-based website, which usually requires WordPress hosting. And that hosting, depending on who you go with, ranges from say like $5 to all the way up to $50 per month. The host that I recommend, which is a company called ThemeCloud, they run their hosting annually, which is about $100 per year. So with that being said, you will need a WordPress based website. You'll need a domain, which runs you about 15 bucks. And that's something that you'll need to get that all set up in order to use Thrivethemes. With that all being said, though, you can actually go and get what they call the Thrive membership, which is $19 a month, and that includes all of the tools included with the Thrive membership. They have different things like for doing like scarcity. They've got something that helps with like writing headlines. They've got another tool that helps with doing countdown timers. There's all kinds of different systems built into that membership. But the main one is their content builder, and that's what allows you to really build the funnels or the landing pages that kind of gives you the core of what you're really looking for in any of these solutions. So that's the biggest thing. If you were to just get the Thrive Content Builder, I believe just that tool alone, in fact, I will pull it up right now. If you go to, I'll leave a link to this, but I've got a special link if you, for some reason, end up picking up any of these tools after you watch the video. I'll leave both my links. But the pricing for just the Content Builder, meaning you're just going to get the landing pages, is $67. So that's one big thing I want to mention right off the bat. Because with Clickfunnels, you're actually going to be paying $97 per month. So you're going to be required to keep paying monthly for the solution regardless. You're never going to get a lifetime or unlimited version. And then if you get their Edison suite, you have to go up to $297 a month, which adds a whole bunch more stuff there. So as you can see here, it's 5 times more expensive than Thrive membership, based on the fact that you're doing the $19 a month with them. So let's keep going through and kind of look at some of the other comparison pieces. So all of them get unlimited updates, customer support, product tutorials. There's no trial with Thrivethemes, so that is kind of a downer. You can't really try it out and test it out. There is 30-day money-back guarantees on both. In terms of websites with that funnel, everything is self-hosted on Thrivethemes. You own everything, meaning that you own the pages, you own the content, the hosting, everything is all yours. You don't really get that sort of functionality with Clickfunnels. They give a plugin inside of Clickfunnels where you can host the pages, and that actually does work pretty well. It's fairly basic, but it doesn't really need to be complex. So I would sort of say this checkbox is, in a way, kind of wrong because it's not completely WordPress compatible, but at the same time it is, because you can move Clickfunnels pages over to a WordPress-based site, no problem. Build pages from scratch. Clickfunnels generally gives you these templates that you have to work off of, and some of them I think can be sort of blank or very like starter, but with Thrivethemes you could start from a completely blank page and just build it all out. You own the pages. This is true. Clickfunnels owns those pages, so if you stop paying that monthly fee, then they're going to keep all those pages and you lose them. With Thrivethemes, you can do some targeted opt-in offers for content categories. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but apparently that's something Clickfunnels doesn't have. Search engine optimized, obviously. Let's see what else. Countdown timers, they all have that. Evergreen stuff, they all have that. On-page payment system integration, Thrivethemes does not have that. Clickfunnels, you can integrate something like Stripe, and you can start charging your customers. I'll actually show you a sample of that as we go through this video. Complete funnel view. This is something that is a huge lack in Thrivethemes, and let me kind of show you an example of what that looks like. So inside of Clickfunnels, I built out a sales page for my course, the SEO Consulting Blueprint. So let's say I click on this. You can actually see the full layout of my funnel over here in the left column. I have all these different pages that are set up that are all integrated for this. Like I've got a closed page when the program is not open. I've got a thank you page. There's an opt-in page. I've got a pop-up so people can actually opt in. I have an order form page, another thank you when people actually place the order for the course. And then I have another version of the opt-in, which is not a pop-up and it's just a normal page. So I've sort of got this all segmented into this section. You can see there's quite a bit going on. So I don't really have the ability to do that with Thrive. In Thrive, I'd be looking at something like this. I would just be in the back end of my WordPress dashboard and I'd have all these pages. So in this case, this is a little video course that I made with Thrivethemes. And you can see I've got video 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is kind of how I'm viewing them. So I have no real way of sort of beyond labeling them accordingly to differentiate them and sort of subgroup them and do things like that. So that's really what you're missing out there. Autoresponder built in. If you go with their biggest system with ClickFunnels, they actually include that. So both of these systems do not have that built in natively. Plain text email responder built in. So Thrive doesn't do some of that stuff. Like with ClickFunnels, you can have email automation and some basic email stuff like, hey, you signed up, your order is complete, and then they'll fire off an email with some short codes and things like that. A/B testing of pages, you can't do that with ClickFunnels, or rather with Thrive. I'm sorry, you can't do that with Thrive. In ClickFunnels, you have the ability here. You can see on my funnel step, I can come in and start a split test. So maybe I want to change like a logo or some text, something that I just want to modify. You can create a variation of that page, and when you're sending traffic to this funnel, you can see which one is ultimately converting better based on the differences in the page. So this is something all built right into ClickFunnels. Definitely a huge enhancement over what you get with Thrive. Thrive does not have the capability to do that. And again, that's something that can be very important if you're really trying to test out your pages, especially if they're opt-in pages, trying to make sure that they convert really, really well. Let's see, what else do we have? Landing page templates, they all have that. I would say overall in terms of templates, I generally prefer the Thrivethemes templates. I actually am not a huge fan of the ones that actually come with ClickFunnels. I would say ClickFunnels has a little bit more variation. I'll actually create a new funnel step here. I'll just call this test. And I'm going to show you guys some samples of what some of these look like so you get an idea in case you're wondering, you're doing your research. So within ClickFunnels, you have different subcategories. You can do opt-in, sales, webinar, membership, ClickPop, and then miscellaneous. So beneath each of these, there's even further categories. So email opt-in or maybe a thank you page. You can do sales pages, product launches, order forms, upsell pages, downsell pages, order confirmation. You can do webinar pages for registrations, thank yous, and broadcast rooms. You can build membership pages, membership areas, as well as even doing click pops, which are like you click on a link and it pops up a box with an opt-in. And then they have some miscellaneous ones like about page, resume, 404 pages coming soon, privacy policy, various sort of miscellaneous templates. Now, the thing with ClickFunnels is they have quite a few of these. There's a ton to go after, but generally, I found that some of the pages and the designs I just like overall a little bit more in Thrive. So as for an example, here's like a 4-video product launch. If we do a preview, this one's actually not too bad, but it's fairly basic. It doesn't need to be complex, but let's actually go over and we'll do a new test page with Thrive. I'm just going to call this test. And you have to publish it in order to be able to edit and actually pick a template. So now we do edit with Thrive Content Builder. And this is a blank page. Now what I can do is at the top right corner, I can do choose landing page, and I'm going to get a directory, which is very similar. You can filter by tag. So just as I'm doing this now with ClickFunnels, it's the same thing. You just filter by what you want. So let's say we were doing the same thing. We wanted to do like that video course. I think this would probably be something like video. And now you can see I've got a bunch of them here. There's a bunch of default ones, and they've also got this template cloud that you can get some newer ones that they're always adding, and you can download these. So if we go back here, you can actually see, let's see if we can find something comparable if we wanted to do like a 4-part video course. So this would be kind of a sample of one. And you can't preview them here, unfortunately. I think you can from the template cloud, but if you hit load, it's fairly easy to just load them in and take a quick look at it. So here's like an example video lesson. So this is very similar. I just like the overall feel of the imagery, like how they do a lot of the fonts, just the way a lot of the colors kind of pop at you. They've got the footer stuff. If you sort of compare that to what I did here, you know, this one just, it feels a lot more basic and not really quite as poppy, you know, in terms of like how slick it looks to me. So this would be sort of a comparison. You know, say you were launching a video course and you wanted to do a 4-part video series, these would be sort of the comparable tools you can use. Now, they're both obviously going to get the job done, but I've generally found, here's another sample of a landing page that I've got for my 4-part video course that's complete using Thrive. And this just feels like, to me, it just feels a lot crisper. It looks a little nicer. So overall, in my opinion, the templates are going to be a little bit better. Now, of course, I would say with Clickfunnels, though, you do have a little bit more in terms of the options, like doing membership sites and some of these other things, webinars. But Thrive does have a lot of those same choices, you know. So, you know, look around at both of them. There's a ton to pick from. I would say either of them are going to offer quite a bit in terms of that. So let's go back to the comparison. Full landing page sets, yep. You know, they kind of give you, with Thrivethemes, they're giving you like a little bit more of a, you know, kind of here's the full package. So if we go back, let me give you an example of this. I'm just trying to find my test page. Here we go here. So if we do import landing page, we'll blow this one away. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. I want choose landing page. You can also save and export and import these. But basically, I think what they're saying is like, if you wanted to have sort of a sequential system that's all kind of in here, they have some of that like ready for you. So there's different pages that go with one another. So you could kind of have like, here's the phonic email confirmation page. Here's the phonic landing page. And then you could do different variations of that. Here's the first download page. So they've got all these different ones that sort of match to that. Now, Clickfunnels does do a little bit of that as well. But a lot of these are a little bit more just like, here it is, and this is what you get. It's not really giving you like a name behind it, just like big sales page, Bluebeam. You know, there's not really like the Bluebeam sales page, the Bluebeam, you know, order page, the Bluebeam membership site page, the Bluebeam webinar page. You know, it doesn't really do that, whereas Thrive kind of does do that. Let's see what else. Everything is drag and drop. Both platforms offer that. I want to touch a little bit on that because the drag and drop, in my opinion, with Thrive is a little bit better. Let me show you an example of how it would work in Thrive. We'll take our Copy 2.0 sold out page just to give you a demo of another page. So this is a page for something that's sold out and no longer available. So you can see here as I move around, everything is basically got this sort of green area, and it's very easy to move around. So if I wanted to move sold out below here, you can see exactly where it can go. It shows you exactly the spots of where it can go, and everything can be moved. You can click on anything inside of here and you can adjust image sizes. You can change colors. You can do indents rather. You can add a URL, change the image, add alt text, titles. You can do events. So maybe if someone clicks on this, you could make it pop up something or trigger a specific action. And depending on what you click on, it will have different options. So you can see now that I clicked on text, I'm going to get like kind of some text options for bolding, italics, you know, different things I could do maybe in terms of like background fonts or colors. You can change the fonts, the font size, headings, all the typical stuff you get with WordPress. So in terms of editing things and adding things, you can see here there's different content elements on the right sidebar. So everything is draggable. Like if I want to add a button, I just drag it over. I've now got my add to cart button. And then I could change, because it's an add to cart button, they give me specific options. I could change the style. I can add other different things, like maybe I want a content reveal and I want to be able to say like, you know, something that's going to get revealed when someone goes to look at this, like they click on a button and it will show up. You can add custom code, credit card icons, images, icons, you've got everything. And then you've got multi-style elements. So if you want different column layouts, you can also drop these down and get different formats. So if I wanted like a triple column layout, for example, I could do that. I could bring that in here. I could put the add to cart button in the middle. I could put my content reveal here. I can add my sold out button here. I can kind of play around with where things are going to show up and how they're going to look. You could do different things with like symbol boxes, social sharing buttons, quotes, dividers, testimonials, call to action. You've got also a lot of advanced elements. So maybe you want to add widgets from WordPress. They have these really cool pricing tables. So these are nice pricing tables you can add in, and they're pretty flexible in terms of what they look like. I really like these, use those a lot. You've got feature grids. So maybe you want to add in like some features about different things. You've got that. You can do data elements, countdown timers, Google Map embeds, responsive video. You can even do lead generation. So this is really important if you want to connect, name and email opt-in with a service. Like you can use an API connection to connect in with most autoresponder services, or use an HTML code. Then you've also got connections into some of their other tools like Ultimatum, which is their scarcity timer tool, comment sections for like Facebook or Discuss. And you can even add specific page sections as well as import content that you would have saved otherwise. So there's tons of available options here. You could also save this entire page and then export it as a zip file and then re-import it if you wanted to do that between different websites. It's really great if you're copying content over, utilizing something for multiple clients or your own websites. And you can even add in, you could do revisions. This is another huge thing that Clickfunnels doesn't have. They have a back button. Clickfunnels does not have this, and it's actually one of the worst things I think about their builder. You can actually hit, hey, I want to change this and go back. Like I don't want this pricing table. You can go back and like revert that. You can also add in custom HTML. You could save the page as a template. You could do some stuff to also, if you go to, let's see, landing page settings, you can add in background colors, images. You can set up custom scripts, like maybe if you're doing Facebook advertising, you want to add in a pixel code. You can do all that stuff here. That's a pretty good breakdown of the Clickfunnels editor. Now let me show you what the Thrivethemes editor. Let me show you what the Clickfunnels editor looks like. So I'll take, why don't we edit, since we picked, I need to pick one. We'll just do this two-step video opt-in. So it's going to create my page. I'm now going to have the ability to edit the page. It's going to load the editor, and now everything is more or less at the top. You can see this is a little bit more basic. Everything, as you can see, very similar, but I can't really just as easily, I can sort of drag and drop it around. You can see here, everything allows me to move it around here. So the drag and drop piece works pretty similarly, but it's not quite as good in the sense that you could see all the places of where you can put the elements. You can see I'm already having, well, I'm not having too much trouble, but everything is kind of in these blocks here. You can see there's blue blocks, and then this green block is kind of like the entire thing. Within a block, you can copy, you can move, drag and drop it, delete it, clone it, and there's also settings for it. So some of the settings would be like colors, fonts, some of the different things you could change. There's advanced options where you could do a lot of different things with the text, borders, shadows, animations. So there's no real lack of options for sure on that front. The biggest thing I would say is that you've also got your elements selector. So this is kind of like the sidebar piece you'd get with Thrive. You can see they break everything down: text, media, forms, advanced forms, countdowns, content blocks, miscellaneous elements, and that's pretty much what you have. So Thrive has a little bit more in the sense of what you can do with it. Some of the stuff in Clickfunnels I would say is a little more basic. You do have some advanced stuff like surveys and sign up with SMS, like that stuff that Thrive does not have. I would say overall, like let's say you want to do a button. This button is very basic. I don't really have the ability to change around different types of buttons. I just have one basic button. I can't really do a whole lot here. You could do 3D or change the color, but I can't really make it like look visually a whole lot different, whereas you could with Thrive. Has a little bit more features there in terms of the design and styles. Overall, I would say they both get a little bit, it takes a little bit of getting used to. So you have to kind of keep going through, seeing what's what. You've also got the ability to view it in mobile. That's something really cool that Thrive does not have. You do not have the ability to do like revert a change. So I just added this button. I have no way of reverting that without actually going here and deleting it manually. So that's something that's a real bummer. I found myself making mistakes all the time, and I'm like, oh man, I wish I had a back like revert button or undo button, and they don't have that. You can actually add specific rows and manage those rows. You can see here you can move things around from this sidebar piece. So if you want to move stuff that way, you can. It's a little bit harder to do that. You can also do the same thing with sections in terms of like how they're managed. This one only has one. In terms of previewing it, you can hit preview and see a live version of what it's going to look like at any time. And more or less the rest of it's going to be pretty simple. You know, you're just going to create columns and sections depending on what you need and sort of edit from there. But if I were to give you my opinion, I like the Thrive editor just overall a little bit better, and I like some of the functionality and options, the way that a lot of the fonts look and just the overall layouts of things. I think it just looks a lot nicer. So what else do we have? One-step, two-step opt-ins, all that stuff is integrated with both platforms. You've got your SMTP stuff, digital asset delivery, meaning like content, anything you want to deliver like MP3s or video files or anything that you need to send over, you could do that. A/B test full pages, again, Thrive does not have that. And then own your own pages. You know, again, Thrive only allows you to own the content that you're building. And then here's some stuff that they try to bring in, like in terms of features, like you could do a scroll triggered lightbox, ribbons, scroll mats after an in-content opt-in forms, opt-in widget, content lock, you know, all these different things that are kind of a little bit more skewed in terms of some of those miscellaneous like content-based features. And then as they get down, you know, you don't get like live webinars embedded with Thrivethemes, and none of these platforms really offer that. And you can't really do automated evergreen webinar funnels with Thrive, which is a real bummer. You could probably potentially customize your own, but it would take a little bit more work versus Clickfunnels sort of making that a little bit more integrated right into the platform and making it really easy to get going. And then in terms of creating product and sales funnels, they don't have payment integration in Thrivethemes. Conversion tracking on the payments, you can't track that in Thrivethemes. All of that you can within Clickfunnels. And they don't have the one-click upsell and downsell functionality. So let's take a quick look at that. I actually want to show you what that looks like. I'm going to hit back and exit and not save anything here. And here's an order form that I actually built for my course. So here's the course landing page. I'm going to go all the way to the buy button. And if a student clicks on Enroll Now, it's going to take them to this really fancy order form. And this is something very similar that you'd be able to build, say, within like a Sam cart or a Thrive cart. This is something that I built within Thrivethemes. You're actually able to build a product. So let me show you an example. Once you build this order form, you get a special tab here within Clickfunnels called Products. And you can add a product, give it a price, and set some different options. So I was able to add this product, integrate it with my Stripe account, set up a one-time cost, and also set up a fulfillment email so when someone buys it, they get an email that says, hey, thanks for enrolling, and here's the thank you page where to access your purchase. And then they then get redirected to that thank you page where they also have some information. And I can also have it submit the lead to my autoresponder. So I have to add that. I'm still working on that. And if you're shipping physical products, you can also do some stuff there. So this is a really cool, I'm going to close this. It's a really cool order form. It looks really good. If someone completes this order, automatically sends a payment through my Stripe system, and then I actually get the payment automatically, and then they get redirected into the course. So this is something you could do this with Thrive, but you'd have to set up a whole payment system separately. With Clickfunnels, it's all integrated automatically, and it works really, really well. You can see the whole form and everything was pre-built. So in terms of conversion tracking, you can also go in and you can see, I can actually click on sales and I can see how many people would have bought this. This is something I haven't launched yet, so these are just test purchases for myself. I can actually go in and see details of who bought it, like check the invoice, see all this different details about those customers. So that's all integrated into Clickfunnels, and I think that's really, really cool. because normally you would not get that with Thrive. You'd have to use a separate external system to do all of that. Let's see, what else do we have? Product launch templates, countdown timers, all that stuff. We already went over a lot of that. Payment page inbuilt, again, that's what we just went over. Payment conversion, we just went over that. Inbuilt membership area, you do not have that with Thrive. They have some pages where you can kind of build them yourself, but with Clickfunnels, you can actually go and set up some of this yourself. I'll show you a sample of what that looks like. Here's someone else's membership site, and you get a full login page. There's all the users are all tracked to this, so I'm going to log in with my account, and this is actually built on the back end of Clickfunnels. So you've got a full dashboard here where you can go in and watch all the videos, you can embed them, you can add links, and it's pretty straightforward. It's not super enhanced, but this is something that definitely you do not get with Thrivethemes, and I would say with this, you're going to get a pretty solid little membership site, and it's going to get the job done. Let's see, delayed lesson release, you could do that with Clickfunnels, you can't with Thrivethemes. You could add material, like you could add pages with videos and do audio downloads and all that stuff, but you're not really going to have some of the automation and kind of the inbuilt platform like you would with Clickfunnels. So conclusion, I would say, depending on the extra features you need, I hope you guys have kind of gotten a pretty good comparison. I'm going to leave a link to this article so you can go through it yourself. But I would say the biggest reasons, if you want to go with Clickfunnels, the biggest reasons you're going to want this is you want a little bit more organization over your funnel. You can actually import and copy other people's funnels a little bit easier than you might. You'll see, like, if you go on YouTube, you look at other people doing funnels, they're like sharing them. It's very easy to like grab someone else's funnel and just copy it into your Clickfunnels account. You get stats on your pages. That's something super important to me. You could go in and see, like, hey, I can see exactly how many people went to my page saying that the offer was closed, how many opt-ins I got on that page, and how many people have viewed other things. So, like, for example, I just finished this blog post and I've gotten 24 views on that page. So I can track that, see how many opt-ins I'm getting from it, and everything combined with it. So you don't really get this with Thrive, and this was something that was a huge disadvantage to me. You could technically track all of that with Google Analytics, but you're going to have to set it all up separately and just do a lot of additional stuff to kind of get that going, whereas it's all integrated in this, and you have all the filtering as well as seeing how much sales you're making off of everything you're doing. So this was kind of somewhat of a deal breaker for me, not being able to have this and just having it all integrated. The next thing is that you got all your contacts, everything in terms of like leads coming in, all the people, you can track that all within Clickfunnels. I would say some of the next biggest things is having a little bit more sequential opportunities with some of the stuff, like the order form automatically sequentially knows to go to my thank you page and give people access to my course. So stuff like that where you kind of have to do it all manually within Thrive. I would say the biggest thing would be coming down to price. If you're just looking to build really nice landing pages, you don't need all this extra stuff, then maybe I would go with Thrive. And the reason for that is being you can get it for just that $67 price point you can see here. And again, that gives you the one website capability. If you want to do 5 licenses, you could do it for $97, which is still, that's basically what you'd pay for 1 month of Clickfunnels. So you really have to kind of compare and see what works for you. I'm going to leave links down below for both. I highly recommend, honestly, both of these solutions, and I think both of them have positives and negatives. So again, I hope you enjoyed this video on comparing Thrivethemes versus Clickfunnels. If you guys have any questions for me, feel free to reach out. You can go check out my blog at noshameincome.com, and be sure to subscribe. I'm going to be doing a lot more content about landing page builders, Clickfunnels, and going over a lot of these different solutions and how you can help grow your business using these tools.